Hey YouTubers, I'm doing a review of the 2018 Yamaha R3. I just finished the test ride. Yamaha does not allow you to videotape these rides anymore, so I'm doing this review immediately after the ride while the data is still fresh in my head. And I'm in Hayward, California. It's August 2018. I'm in the East Bay of the San Francisco metropolitan area, East Bay Motorsports. So today I'm going to talk about what I like about the R3, what I don't like about the bike, what kind of riding, what kind of rider this would appeal to, and then I'll end by talking about whether I would buy this bike or not. And so let's get started and also cover first impressions. So let's do first impressions and likes. This is exact, what you're seeing is exactly what I took out, this exact color, this exact color. So this was extremely light and flexible, a flickable bike. What I noticed about this bike is it's a fantastic city bike. Um, when we took the ride, we did a combination of riding a 30-minute test ride. It was basically freeway riding, canyon riding, and then city riding in Hayward. And then what I noticed about the bike is it's you got to get on the freeway, particularly on the freeway, you got to get the engine up to, over 7K plus 7,000 revs to get it up to, 65 miles an hour. And so if you want to go faster, it's revving between 7 and 9. And it's a free revving engine. It's not like you kind of the engine doesn't want to rev, it does run, but you really got to crank the engine to kind of ride it on the freeway. The other thing I noticed about this bike is on the canyons, it was just amazing. It comes alive in kind of the city riding and the canyon riding, taking those twisties, and it's nice and easy to ride in the city. But what on the freeway, you got to really crank the engine up. What I felt about the bike is kind of from a fit perspective. I thought surprisingly, the seat felt a little bit more. I was expecting the seat to be uncomfortable, but it wasn't as comfortable as uncomfortable as the seat on the Tracer. I felt this seat was okay. It wasn't as stiff as I expected. People always say, the seat is very stiff, but I didn't find the seat stiff. I noticed like in the sitting position, sitting position is definitely lower than the Tracer and the Super 10RA, and much lower than my GSA and my V-Strom and my ZX10R. And this is because it's an entry level bike. What I did notice was my legs felt very, very tight in this. Like my legs felt cramped because of the low seating position and the way the pegs kind of triangle to the seat, right? So my legs were getting cramped. I'm 6 feet tall, so I think guys 6 feet plus are gonna struggle kind of being comfortable on this bike. Um, the type of rider this would really appeal to is if you're a beginner, you would definitely kind of get used to this bike. This is a fantastic beginner bike, and I could see you kind of hanging on to this bike for a while. Also, if you're riding around in the city driving like San Francisco downtown, this is a fantastic city bike for the city. So that's a kind of rider this would appeal to, kind of an entry level beginner bike, because you're not gonna get yourself in trouble. I mean, the thing, you got to really rev it to go fast, right? So it's a nice light handling bike. Um, One thing, so let me talk about what I didn't like about the bike. So this bike had 500 miles on it, right? No, around 550 miles. And what I noticed, kind of consistent problem that I noticed with this bike was shifting from second gear to first gear for me was practically impossible. It would just kept, I could get it down from 5, 4, 3, 2, and then from 2 to 1, never, I had like maybe 5 to 10% success over the 30-minute test ride shifting it to first gear. Would never find first gear. It was very difficult to find from second gear to first gear. It just didn't happen. I really had to kind of kick it. I tried it many times. I would have to kind of really bang hard on the gear shifter to get it from second to first, and that was just kind of very disappointing for me from a quality perspective. Um, I don't know what the problem was. Maybe it's just this bike, but I mean, I maybe it's I don't know. Yamaha makes really high quality bikes, so this shifting was really disappointing. So that really was a throw off for me. The other thing I noticed about this bike is, it looks fantastic kind of from far, but when you kind of sit on it and you look at the gadgets and kind of the dashboards, to me it felt like pretty, felt like cheap material. So I guess Yamaha had to really kind of keep the dollars and to, make the profit margin. They opted on cheaper materials, and it just felt cheap. And I only say that because when I rode the KTM 390 Duke, right, that's in a similar price point, but that didn't feel cheap to me. It didn't feel as the products didn't feel as cheap as this. So anyway, I'm not saying this is. Overall, I think this is a good bike for the price. It's a good bike. Would I buy it? If I would. For me, this bike does not work for me because It's just too small. The only reason is it's just too small and too tight for me, particularly the riding position. So anyway, that's my review of the Yamaha R3. I did also review the Yamaha Tracer GT, so check that review out, and also the Super Tenere. And it was just a fantastic day at in East Bay, California. And I think no worries about Yamaha taking the videos. I think maybe this is the safety or reason, or I don't know why they're not doing it. But to me, it didn't. I think this format works out fine, where you get to kind of just think about what you saw and what you experienced, and then kind of just communicate it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys around on the next video.